Hi everyone! Good to see you. Thanks for popping by from across the galaxy again. I've been reading up a bit more about you humans. You're a weird folk, you know. Real weird. How's the weather? Any space storms? Well, I live in the Fray, which isn't technically space. Well, what you'd refer to as outer space. We tend to call everything outside of the Fray the tail. Where we are is the Fray behind the tail. If that makes sense. Well, I suppose I promised you an adventure today. So I guess the first thing we have to do, if we want to have an adventure, is to plot where we're going. The way we do this in the Nexus machine is by connecting one of the doors to... Let me look at you face on. Hold on. I should look at you face on while I'm explaining things to you. Right. Let me explain. So the way that we go to different places in the universe, as I said, in the tail instead of the Fray, is that we can plot a course from one of the two doors behind me in the Nexus machine to a place that they're causally connected to through the Fray. And we do that using the Arctory language, which also functions as our coordinate system. So our language is designed so that every word can be transformed into another. Like the Fray, all our words are connected to each other, and our language is also used as our coordinate system for the Fray, and we plot a course by finding the letters in our alphabet which transform one of the present coordinates of the doors to the coordinates of where we're going to. Now let me show you what I mean. Okay, so you can see my screen now. Currently we're at, well, one of the doors in the Nexus machine is at a coordinate called Drash, which is drawn on... Look, there's two coordinates on here, two words. Drash is the one on the left-hand panel. And the place we want to go to is called Suim, which is the symbol next to it. So what we have to do to plot a course is to find out how to transform one of these symbols into another, which is possible with the Arctory language. And that's our coordinate set. Alright, let's head back to me. Nice one. Input those coordinates into our map, starting the activation sequence. Alright. So I guess it's time for you and me to head out, Tangle. Let's go. Hey! Here we are. Ow, this is quite the place. You never know where you're gonna find when you walk through that door. Amazing. Let me just... Whoa! Ah! What the heck? The hell is that? Some sort of yellow orb? Can you see that? Right at the bottom there. Weird. This place looks so untouched, yet this has clearly been made. I'm not sure what the composition is. Nah, it's not broken. I'll pick it up for now. Doesn't look like it's meant to be there, anyway. Strange. This whole place is a little strange. Yeah, I guess I could cipher. I mean, I could take a general scan of the place too. Let's have a look. Interesting. Now that's not a compound that you see regularly. This is a molecule called Atlanticine. It's something called, wait, what would you know about at your time? I think you call it an organometal. It's basically two rings of carbon and hydrogen held together by an atom of... Oh, I don't think you will have found it yet. But it's called Atlantium, I think, by humans, but a couple of 100 years from where you're from. It's an interesting one. Kind of has properties of an organic structure and a metallic one. Very conductive of electricity. Which might make sense of the kind of hum that we can hear almost. I think it's coming from these crystals. Wait a minute. I think we're seeing Atlanticine in all of its different phases at once. As a gas, as a liquid, and as a solid. That's incredible. Wherever we are, wherever this place is at the exact right temperature. It's called the triple point, actually, Cypher, where something can exist in all three of its phases at once. The gas running into the river from the sky, the crystals, they're all the same thing. Sounds like water? Yeah, it's not similar to water, it's just the liquid form in that river behind me. Yeah, it's an organometal. But it's at just the right temperature and pressure to be in all phases at the same time on this planet. Wait. 3 stars. That must make maintaining this temperature pretty difficult, since they'd be rotating, changing position relative to the planet all the time. Interesting. Did we just get here by chance at a time when Atlanticine was at the triple point, exactly the right temperature to be in all 3 phases? Something of a coincidence. A red giant, and what looks like a main sequence yellow star, kind of similar to yours, if you happen to be a human being, that is. Similar to your sun in size and age. And a white dwarf. I mean, technically not a star. Stellar remnant. Incredibly small, but incredibly bright. But they'd be moving in their relative position to the planet all the time. Something neat to the right. Interesting. Looks like some kind of altar. Looks like humanoid statues. There's not much evidence of a civilization here, and the material they're made out of doesn't look like anything I can see around here. A mountain? Oh, over there. Interesting, but what's that on it? That is definitely not from around here. Looks like some kind of freighter, maybe? Not from this part of the galaxy, for sure. It's definitely been there a while. I wonder if we could get a closer look. You were drinking some of the compound? I wonder if I can get a little closer if I just focus on the causal connections. We should be able to get a closer look. Give me a minute. So this is the interior of the ship. Looks like the cockpit, maybe? Yeah, I don't know what that is leaking out of. Looks like a vent. Might be connected to the rest of the freighter. Something they were hauling. Whatever spilt here started growing quickly. Hold on, let me see if I can get a scan. Oh. This is bad. This should not be here. It's something called, well, that came to be known. It's called false neuron. It's kind of a unique, I don't really know what you call it, it's not exactly a virus. It was discovered in the depths of a cavernous planet called Arctra 5, which is a banned region of the universe. Basically, with enough energy, false neuron can transform any organic material it comes into contact with into itself. So that's what I mean, that it's not exactly a virus. More like an epidemic molecular scaffold. Oddly, it's very similar in design to, well, how many neurons are designed in living beings. So it requires very little energy to convert neurons in the brain into itself. It destroyed a civilization near Arctra 5. Basically, people started gaining memories of places they'd never been, gaining talents that they never had. The civilization went leaps and bounds in terms of its civilization level, its technology level. And once the false neuron had gathered sufficient energy from taking over its host's brain, it consumed all of them. It went out, the whole civilization was lost. It's incredibly dangerous. Fortunately, it finds living outside of a human body quite, well, not just human, I guess most of you are human, but a body, quite difficult. But it definitely shouldn't be here. And I don't know how it could have even grown this much. It would take a hell of a lot of energy for it to convert the metal on this ship into itself. A hell of a lot. But I wonder, if this ship crashed, that would have been a massive amount of energy when the core of the ship exploded. Interesting. But why would they even have it? Why would this freighter be carrying false neuron across this sector? It's nowhere near Arctra 5, and the place is banned anyway. Hold on a minute. Can you see right at the top where it's where the false neuron has grown and cracked the glass in the ship? Hold on. I have no idea what that is. It looks like some kind of amalgamation of false neuron and the Atlanticine crystal. The false neuron must have been subjected to so much energy it started converting the crystal, the Atlanticine, around it into something as close to itself as it could. This is troubling. Is that another one of those orbs? Bottom right, near the pipe. I'm gonna nab that. I think we found everything we're gonna find here. It looks like that freighter was transporting false neuron when it definitely shouldn't have been. Oh, it's okay, Buster. I'm not really made of any sort of material that false neuron would find interesting. And all of it in that ship is long dead, anyway. The explosion when that ship hit that mountain was enough to give that false neuron enough energy to start converting Atlanticine, the crystal, the liquid, the gas, into itself. This is incredibly strange. I'm not sure what to make of it. Well, there are signs of life. These statues, but they're old. It's difficult to know how long they could have been here for. The metal that these statues are made of looks incredibly similar to the metal that ship is made out of. No, I'd say that these statues were made after the ship crashed. Maybe quite a long time after. Did you hear that? In the air sometimes there's kind of a howling noise. I wonder if what we've witnessed here, what happened here, was a bunch of circumstances that led to a race being created here. Let's have another look, Cypher. Three statues. I wonder if they could be connected to three suns. Yeah, one looks like it's kneeling, one looks like it's reaching upwards, the other's sitting. But what I was thinking was, the false neuron started replicating the Atlanticine, creating some sort of hybrid. What if it was more than that? What if, after that explosion, false neuron had enough energy to transform into Atlanticine and create a form of life here? Atlanticine is highly conductive. It could have spread that energy far and wide across the planet. Pulse life? I don't know. What happened here is unprecedented. Beings that had complete control over their fate at any time. They could move from being a solid, a liquid, a gas, with the properties of Atlanticine. But where are they? They built these statues. These don't look too old. And they'd have to be careful because those three suns are going to be moving relative to each other all the time. It would change the temperature of the planet, make their very structure unstable. I don't think they spread much beyond here. The environment here is too perfect. Why would they want to leave? I mean, leaving would be difficult. Did they shift in existence according to the movement of the suns? That's an interesting thought. They'd have to change... They'd have to change the environment on this planet to keep it stable. I don't want to worry you guys, but... You see that thing? In the sky? See that thing? I think... Is it just me or is that getting closer? I don't know. If I... You know, if I were a betting Arctori, I'd say that was... What word would make sense to you? A Stargate. And it's getting closer pretty quickly. It's definitely not active, though. We'd be hearing it by now. We're heading right for that Stargate. But nothing's gonna happen. There's definitely no power on it. And another thing I found... Another orb. That's 3. A red, a yellow, and a white one. Yeah, exactly, Cypher, that's what I'm thinking. They're the colours of the stars. And 3 statues. Hold on, let's look at these again. I wonder if they're connected. Let's see what we've got. I don't know which one would be which. They seem to sit on them, but... Oh! Do you hear that? It looks like the praying figure has the yellow orb. That seems to fit there. You think the red one? Ah! With this guy. And then the white one, I guess, would go with this one? Something... I think we just turned something on. I'm not sure what's happening. I think we just got teleported. It's okay. It's okay. No one panic. No one panic. It's just a teleport, you know? Everything's fine. Everything's good. Where the hell are we? I think I'm all together, yeah, Buster. More or less. Wow. This is a different level of technology compared to what we saw up there. Wow. What we're seeing here being some representation of the solar system? 3 suns in the middle? I don't know what the hell the rest means. And are those buttons? These are the same symbols as the statues, right? Maybe not the positions of the stars. Remember, we're heading for that Stargate. What if that's how they maintain staying at the triple point? They change the position of the planet relative to the stars. These symbols here, they represent the stars, like in the statues, but in some of them, one is in front of the other, and some of them they're beside. Could these just be different configurations of the stars? They choose the right one and they head to a place with the right temperature? Yeah, so they can choose which orbit they want relative to the stars. They can maintain their temperature all the time. But something's gone wrong. Why aren't they here? The Stargate's approaching and no one's here to change it. At the moment it looks like a gate is stuck. on... The symbol highlighted is just the red giant star. But all stars are visible at the moment when we went outside, right? The planet would be way too close to the stars. It's hotter now than it should be. Whoever's supposed to monitor this hasn't been. I wonder if that's what happened to them. Which would be the hottest? Given its size, probably the red giant. But it would be hotter on the surface of the planet when all three were visible. So right now, all three are visible. But they're at an orbit that's way too close. Because they're on the closest orbit when only the red giant is visible. And I guess that would destabilize the beings here. If I push the buttons, I guess we could give it a go. I don't know which one to press. What the? Whoa. Okay, so that corresponds to a different position. It would move the planet away from the stars. Right now, this planet is too hot for these people to survive. The triple point is destabilizing. It could mean that they're still here. That whining we can hear in the air. They're still here. They just can't manifest themselves. They've literally evaporated. But we might be able to save them. They're used to living in different phases. It may not mean that they're dead. What if we could set this right? Put them in the right orbit relative to the stars. Does anyone remember what the stars look like? We could see all three, right? The red giant, I think the main sequence yellow sun was in front. And then the white, the middle one, you think? Cypher, yeah, that's what I was thinking. The white dwarf to the side. Okay, let's try it. Okay. We won't know if it's worked until we see if the Stargate activates. Okay. We've got to get out of here. Wait, where was the teleport? About here, maybe? Oh, I hate teleports. Here we go. Whoa. Okay. That thing's getting pretty close now. I think we better get out of here. Okay. Well, I don't know if we'll find out if... Hold on. That's the alarm. Looks like the Stargate isn't powering up. I might be able to connect a bit of power through it, through the Nexus machine. It's possible. Hold on. Let me bypass this. I can connect the power through the gates. Hold on. Let me... Something's coming through. Wait, this isn't right. This isn't right. Did something happen? Hold on. Okay, we're back. I don't know what happened. Hold on, let me get up. Wow. I have never experienced anything like that before. It's like, hold on, let me get myself together. Something came through the doors. I'm not exactly sure what. It's like when I tried to connect to the gate, something reached through. Back. I don't know if this has consequences across the Fray. Things have changed. Whatever reached through the gate has made changes throughout the Fray. It's reached back, made changes. This could affect everything. Why do I feel like we've been tricked? That race. I mean, they didn't strike me as the sort of race that makes mistakes, and if your very existence relies on you checking the configuration of the suns, what if someone set this up so that I would connect the Nexus machine to that gate? And now they've used my Nexus machine's connection to everything to make changes across the history of the Fray itself, which affects the universe. That's what it felt like. Something changed. Oh boy. What have we done? Can't believe it. Is this all a setup? To get us to do exactly what we did to help? If that's the case, we have to find out what they did. Find out the changes they made. We can follow the changes they made back through the Nexus machine. All those changes are connected to each other, connected to that gate, connected to that planet. Connected to whoever did this. We have to undo what they did. Thanks, guys. I'm not sure if we can. Whoever did this is... I've not come across power like this before. The ability to send some kind of feedback like that through the Nexus machine. Orchestrate changes in the Fray. That requires a lot of knowledge. And it's all our fault. Okay, you're right, guys. We're gonna fix this. Whoever did this has messed with the wrong Arctori. Isn't that right, Tangle? I'm glad I reached out to you guys. Thanks, Justano. And if anything, we saved those people. They should be able to restabilize now. The gate was powered up. But whoever used them in order to get us to come here, that's going to be a longer journey. I guess for now... Oh, the Nexus machine is going to take some repairing, to be honest. She's really not used to going through that kind of thing. So I guess for now, friends, all there is to do is to wait for the Nexus machine to repair herself, and then finding this path of changes throughout the Fray and wherever it leads us to. I hope you guys will come along with me. And hopefully we're not going to fall into any more traps that have universal consequences. Oh boy. It's going to be a bumpy ride. But I guess for now I'm signing off. We'll find what happened here. I know we can work it out. It's just... It's gonna take time. It's gonna take effort. It's gonna take... us being smarter than whoever this is. I'll see you soon. And we'll start to get to the bottom of this. Maybe. Probably. Hopefully.